Well, welcome again to Wingman Wisdom, everybody. Now, today we're going to conclude our three-part video series called Only Smart People Will Watch This. And you know, it's true. Sadly, most people aren't going to watch it. The ones that need to watch it. You know why? Don't need that. And for many, they're going to absolutely regret it. So, my guest and I, we are not lawyers, so we don't give out legal advice. And we're not financial advisors either. We're just a couple of people who believe that an educated consumer is difficult for a crooked RV dealer to manipulate. Now, in part 2 of this series, a link is down below, I told you about a woman I visited with, bought a $17,000 starter RV from Camping World recently. $17,000, she just felt something was odd. She looked at the paperwork after she got home. She had paid $27,000. How does $17,000 turn into $27,000? She was embarrassed. She was angry. I think she was a little bit ashamed, but she didn't check the paperwork before she signed on the dotted line. And this sort of thing is not unusual. And it's not only done by Camping World, but other dealers can do the same thing. And that's where we pick it up today. What is this going to do, in your opinion, to the future of the RV industry, Kevin Frazer? Because this woman, they may be saddled and buried, have to hold on to this RV, but I don't think they're ever going to buy another one. What do you see is going to happen in the future as people begin to wake up with this financial hangover?
20 years ago, my brothers and I took the decision to compete only for the smart people. We don't want to try to pick up the marginal sale from persons who don't read their contracts, from persons who simply agree to everything and then wake up with a financial hangover, because we don't know a way to do that. There's certain products we won't sell. I've told you this before, because they're a bad deal for the consumer. There's costs they don't know are coming, and that's going to wreck their financial future. The disreputable stores just bury people in that stuff too. I would never sell new Gulfstreams or Heartland products, but that's because I know what I know. They don't care. And nothing bad is ever going to happen to them. I wish that people would pay attention.
I read recently in an industry publication that again, my favorite chain store is going to try to acquire, they're trying to have 150 of their Camping World stores across the country. I assume that most of the acquisitions, there'll be acquisitions. They're not going to start up brand new. They're going to acquire somebody else. What effect does 150 of these stores have on the consumer? Why should the consumer care? Or should they? I mean, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing?
The consumer can't do anything about it.
I know that.
Camping World is borrowing lots of money at very high rates, and has let the stock market know that they're going to do away with their dividend very shortly. In May, that came out. Okay, what's going on? The big boss, Marcus Lemonis, can only see a giant empire. He knows that if he pushes it too far and it tips over and he goes into bankruptcy, he'll get back out. He'll come out ahead on a bankruptcy because he'll get rid of so many of his contracts that are costly. So right now he's buying stores. Now, to say that he's buying stores is kind of a misnomer, because I know the details on a number of transactions that have happened in the last 6 months. He's buying stores for assumption of debt. The founder died, the son inherited, the son is a pediatrician or something. He doesn't want it. So, or they're just flat in trouble because they made a lot of mistakes. Well, we made a lot of mistakes, but we didn't make too many to kill us, but a lot of companies did. So he's coming in and assuming debt, and he's adding huge mountains of debt to his publicly traded Camping World holdings. And if it blows up, because he'll just go through the bankruptcy proceeding.
And he's already
right now, if you want to have 250 stores, which he's publicly stated he wants to, this is the best time in the world to buy them, because it's a buyer's market, because of the stress on all these old stores.
I thought the number was 150. I thought the number was 150.
Yeah, he's going for 250. What Forest River's worried about is that's another 100 stores that won't have the capability of changing a battery, because Camping World immediately pushes out all the skilled staff. There's nobody stays a year, and nobody knows how to do anything. All they're trained to do is fleece the consumer. So then there's 100 less service stores. The old stores that belonged to the founder, whose kids didn't take it over, and he didn't try to sell it when the market was strong, they just become Camping World or other chain stores. Even though they got their financial problems, Blue Compass is buying, Bish's is buying. Then they're buying with debt money. What do they care? You know this game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, right now, they're paying 8% for money.
Mm.
When Camping World started, they were paying 1.5%. How does that make sense? Doesn't have to. We just got to have our name on that facility, and we can do whatever we want. And that's exactly what they're doing. But 100 fewer service centers for our industry. Forest River's working on another whole plan there. But you mentioned that Camping World had another announcement, but you didn't quite get to it. They are going to make their stores brand specific. The first example they used in the first mock-up they put up was Jayco Camping Center. They're going to make their stores specific to a brand. Specific to a brand. They're not going to be called Camping World stores anymore. They've only been called Camping World stores for a decade. Before that, they were Freedom Roads. But Freedom Roads got such a bad reputation, it was hurting their sales. So they had that brand name, that powerful brand name, Camping World, from the mail order parts distribution business. So Lemonis put that name on, and that helped him sell that $1 billion worth of stock. Well, now the Camping World name is utterly toxic, utterly toxic. First, they stopped using it in their advertising. So now what they're going to do is badge their stores. Why, this is Jayco RV Center, or this is Imagine RV Center, or this is, well, they don't have a very good relationship with Winnebago, so it's going to be mostly Thor brands. It'll be Montana.
So all they're doing, so it sounds like what
they're eating the brand name of the manufacturer, and the manufacturers aren't happy about it.
But
and I don't know what they're going to do about it. Forest River has said absolutely no, but we'll see what the legal ramifications are. We don't want you eating the Flagstaff brand name, do we? Because if you put the Flagstaff badge on the front of a Camping World store, Flagstaff suffers. Not Camping World. Camping World consumes your goodwill. Oh. All these stores they're buying right now, and they bought in the past, they consumed the goodwill that old guy who sold out for peanuts built by being an honest businessman for 30, 40 years. No, that's the two part that's going on. We're expanding with borrowed money, and we don't care if we BK. And we're abandoning the Camping World name because, well, we kind of toxified it.
And they must see there's so many people like this woman who thought she was buying a $17,000 camper, which actually cost her $27,000. That supply, that inventory of new people is just going to keep on coming. I don't think that's going to happen.
Whoa. That inventory is reliant on something that has changed. For you to take advantage of people who don't pay attention, you need to have readily available cheap credit, and that has stopped. They've just had a real boom time. Banks are getting real nervous. You say, well, why didn't the banks stop doing this before? I don't know. I don't know why the banks let them play this game. They got a $17,000 loan on what I imagine is a 17-foot Mallard. What's that 17-foot Mallard? What year did you say it was? A 22?
I can't remember the details, but it was all I knew is a 2022.
Under
I've got my notes.
They got a $27,000 loan on a $13,000 trailer. Who's holding that paper? And when it goes wrong, who takes the loss? Not Marcus Lemonis, not him.
But what are the banks going to do? You said banks are starting to get nervous. Are they that? Or if there's people that are going to walk away and go, hey, come pick it up, I ain't going to pay for it anymore. What will happen? What's
they charge them all?
I know, but
They
what's
charge
the
them
fallout
off.
for the industry? Because I would think the banks would say, we're not going to do your floor plan loan like we've been doing. And they put the brakes on it. But then the good news, here I go to good news. People still want to RV, Kevin. There are people that just want to get out and be in nature and be with their family and get away from this craziness. And I
You're
think
back to the real damage that these guys are doing. These chains. They're wrecking people's finances. Unless it's a motorhome or a giant fifth wheel, they're wrecking them temporarily, but they're wrecking them. But they're also turning those people off. They'll never, ever own another RV. What these chains have done to this generation is what the timeshare jackoffs did 20 years ago, 40 years ago. You remember all those. So we got the modern timeshare. We got a $13,000 trailer with a $27,000 loan.
I never
Is your favorite chain, Camping World. What they train people to do is the separation of income from their consumers. They on their training staff, I've been told they have a former timeshare trainer. What a surprise.
I never saw that parallel until you just said it. The timeshare. Everybody, when you say timeshare now, is like, oh, you hear the ads on the radio about it. We can get you out of a timeshare. Well, good. And a lot of people are doing that. But RV, there was a time when timeshares, everybody wanted a timeshare. Look, it makes so much sense. I want my free TV and take that presentation. And then it's like, oh my God, what happened to me? And now it is very similar to what a lot of people are feeling about RVs. But and I'll just say this, not all chains, not all the people at all the chains bury every single customer, but too many of them do.
In my experience, if a particular corporation has more than 3 stores, I don't hear any good things. And I don't know why that is. There's a theory in the RV industry that the reason that the chains can be a very good organization with a founder who is true blue, when they grow, they have to draw upon a labor pool, a talent pool that has already been rejected by another industry, usually the automotive industry. So you're self-selecting for people with moral flexibility.
There you have it, another amazing conversation with one of the smartest, most honest human beings I have ever met. And now do you see why we're calling this Only Smart People Will Watch This series? Because it takes time to listen, to think, to see the big picture. And the truth is, most people just won't do that. Will you please help Kevin and me by sharing this video series with your friends, even with a little bit of encouragement? My assumption is most are not going to watch it. They're just not going to. But those who do, well, like you, I trust that they will be very well armed when they go onto an RV dealer's lot, and it will be difficult for them to be taken advantage of. Thanks so much for watching. Drop a comment below, if you would, please. On behalf of Kevin Frazer and his entire team at Cheyenne Camping Center, thank you for watching. I'm Alan Warren, the RV Wingman. Be safe, have fun, play nice, and don't leave your good manners at home.